Hello folks, welcome back. In this tutorial, we will talk about what is class and what is an object. So what is a class? A class is like a blueprint or it's like a template. For example, you wanted to build a house. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make a design. You're going to make a design. We're going to say this is going to be the room, how many rooms you want, and how many bedrooms you want, master bedrooms, bathrooms, how many car garage, etc. So you're going to go ahead and specify that in the class in the design document. It's like a piece of paper. You're going to make the design. The house is not actually ready. House is not been started yet. Now using this design, you're going to go ahead and construct. You can construct as many houses as you want, right? So you can go ahead and construct as many houses as you want. This is one house, this is another house. So these are the real thing that we talk about, the houses, the actual houses that take space on the land. That's called as the object. And this is called as the design document, the design of the house. This is just similar to the class. So a class is just a template which specifies how many the things. And object is the real-time entity which actually occupies the space in the memory, in the computer memory. So let's do a simple example here. So let's say you have a class called a dog. Okay, you have created a class called dog, and in this dog class, each of the dog we want to have a name. So we're gonna say string of name, and let's say it also has an age. So we're gonna go ahead and say age. So these are the two variables that I've created, and let's say I have a method called display. And this is the display method I have. And in the display method, I will go ahead and write something. So here, I've created a class here called dog. And now I wanted to go ahead and create the actual object. So this, by writing a class, it has not created any memory. It has not occupied any memory, or it has not created any object. Now we're going to go ahead and say new of dog. When you say new of dog, new is the operator to create an object. And since you wanted to create an object of the dogs, so you use the class name, whatever the class name is, and the parenthesis. This is what you have created. So once you do that, what it has done is, in the computer memory, it has created a dog object. Okay. Now similarly, if you write it one more time, new of dog, what it has done now, it has created another dog object in the memory. So now you have two dogs, dog 1 and dog 2. Now we need to, so since dog is sitting in the memory, I need to control the dog from outside. Okay, so just like you have a TV and you have a remote for the TV. So TV, you have placed it far in the room, and remote control is always in your hand. And through the remote control, you can change the channels, you can increase the volume, you can turn it off, you can turn it on. So now I wanted to create a remote control to control my dog objects. So that, since if the TV is of Samsung type, the remote will be of Samsung, right? Similarly, I will go ahead and create a dog D1, which is a remote control for this. Okay, so I've created a remote control called D1. So through this D1, I'm going to control this dog object. And let's say I also wanted to go ahead and control this object, so I'm going to go ahead and say D2. So this is going to be the remote control for this object. So this is going to be the remote control D2 for this object. So this remote control is also called as reference variable. Okay, so on the right hand side, this is the way of creating an object. You say new of the class name. So you have created an object. And now you have created on the left hand side, this is called as the reference variable. Okay, so this is a remote control which controls this object, and D2 is a remote control which controls this object. So this is also called as reference variables. Now what reference variable has? Reference variable is not similar to an object. Reference variable is a remote control, and object is this dog object which is sitting in the memory. So this D1 has the memory location where this dog is. Let's say this particular dog is at memory location XX121, and this dog is at memory location XY133. Now this D1 has the memory address where this dog object is, and D2 has the memory address where this dog object is. So D2 will have the memory location of this, and D1 will have the memory location of this object. So through D1, you can control what goes into your dog object. So now let's do a simple example to illustrate that. So we're going to go up here, we're going to go ahead and create a class dog. And in my dog class, I'm going to go ahead and say string name and age of my dog. Since I wanted to go ahead and execute outside, I'm going to make it public. And that's the name of my method. Now I'm not using a static. Okay, in the next class we're going to talk about what is the difference between a static and a non-static method. I'm not using a static keyword here. So I'm going to say system.debug name of my dog is what? The name. Age. So this is, I've created a class. Now this is just a template. It is just a blueprint. Now I'm going to go ahead and execute this. I'm going to create actual dog objects. So way to create is new of dog. So I've created one dog object and another dog object. So I've created two dogs now in the memory. Now none of them has any name or age. Nothing has been specified. I'm going to create a reference variable. So I'm going to say dog d1 is the reference variable for this dog and dog d2 is the reference variable for this dog. Now, what is the name and age of my dog? I can sit through this reference variable. I'll say d1 dot of name. Let's say the name of the dog is Scooby. And let's say d1 dot of age. Let's say it's 12. And now I'm saying d1 dot of display. The disp method. And similarly, so this is my first dog object. This is another dog that I have. Dog name is equals to, let's say, Tiger. Age of this dog is, let's say, 13. And let's say I'm going to say d1 dot of disp. So now before going and executing this block of code, let me explain you what I have done here. So I've created a dog d1 is equals to new dog. So on the right hand side, what happened in the computer memory is it has created a dog object. So this is how, let's say, the computer memory is. Now I've created a dog with this. On the line number 1, I've created a new of dog and I'm saying d1 is the remote control for this dog. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say the remote control is d1. So remote control just has the memory address. Now in the next line, I'm saying d1 dot of name and d1 dot of age. So these are name and age. Since object is also called as instances, so these two, name and age, is called as the instance variables. Okay, so I'm saying d1 dot of name is Scooby. So what's going to happen here is the name of this dog is Scooby and the age of this dog is 12. So I'm going to go up here and the age is 12. So this is what I have done. So through this remote control, I've set the name and age. Next line says d2 is equals to new dog. So I'm creating another dog here. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go ahead and create another dog and the remote control is d2. Next line says d2 dot of name is Tiger and d2 dot of age is 13. So next line is the name of this variable, I'm setting it to Tiger and the age of this variable is 13. And I'm calling the disp method in both. So what does disp method is doing? So this method is a non-static method. What is a non-static method? It does not have the static keyword in it. So d1 dot of disp. So you're calling the disp method on through this d1. Now what is this d1? d1 is pointing to this object. And you're saying display the name of my dog and age of my dog. So what this name is going to do? Name of this dog is Scooby and the age is equals to 12. So it's going to go ahead and display these two things. Next, in this portion, you're calling d1 dot of disp. So here I'm going to say d2 dot of age, and d2 dot of disp. And what I'm doing is I'm setting up the name and age to this one and I'm calling d2 dot of disp. So with this name and with this age. So what is the name? Tiger and 13. Now if you go ahead and execute this, it's going to print something like this. Go to the display. Name of the dog is Scooby, age is 12. Name of the dog is Tiger, age is 13. So this is what we have done. So this class is just a simple template and now you're creating the objects, the objects that take the memory space. These are the way that you have created an object. So this is the difference between a class and an object. And this is called as instance variable because each of the instance of that class, each of the object of the class will have their own copy of this instance variable. See, this particular dog has its own name and age, and this dog has its own name and age. So these two are also called as instance variables. So I hope you understood this. Please go ahead and execute the same thing and try to get the result. And in the next tutorial, we will cover what is the difference between a static method and a non-static method. Till then, stay tuned and thank you.